1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, we're both good. I still cannot hear Mark in my thing, so we'll do it the way.
They've done it again. Johan Durant and Stephen Mitchell are the APTA national champions for the second year in a row.
There you have it, your women's APTA national champions, Florentina Harnisch and Anna Maria Sabori.
Hello and welcome to the APTA's Tour Series. We're live from the Hyde Park Golf and Country Club in Cincinnati, Ohio, bringing you the Midwesterns, sponsored by the APTA membership and local sponsors, Roto-Rooter, Formidable Asset Management, Strauss Troy, Midnight Paddle, Skull U Paddle, High Grain Brewing Company, Total Platform Tennis and Viking. I'm Mark Fischel along with Brad Easterbrook, bringing you this quarterfinal match between the number 2 seeds, Frazier and Morgan, against Lofgren and Lewis. Bradford, a rematch of the finals of Detroit last year. What are your thoughts? You want to introduce the players?
Yeah, absolutely. So the players on the court, we'll start there with the top left. We have over there Adam Morgan from Chicago and his partner, local favorite, Tyler Frazier, on the top right in the blue hoodie. And then moving clockwise around, we have the lefty, Edwin Lewis, with their back to us in the navy blue vest, and his partner in the light blue t-shirt is Will Lofgren. Edwin Lewis, actually not too far away, lives in Louisville. Very good tennis player, and he's gaining his experience actually from playing out here on the tour. It's getting to be quite good. So why don't we take a quick look at the draw, see how these players got there. Not a whole heck of a lot to see. Both advanced quite easily.
Bradford, why don't we talk a little bit about Tyler Frazier, because he's a little bit of an enigma to me. He's got periods of just sheer brilliance. Great athlete, generates a lot of spin, really moves well, really has a complete game. One of those guys you see play and you think, wow, this guy could win a Nationals. And then you see matches where he's just so passive and there's just not much going on.
Yeah, I think we've seen both sides of the coin, Mark. I think he's still just a work in progress, and he has been for a while. But they did go to the semis of Nationals last year, defeating Orion Parsons. But we've also seen him play so fast sometimes and make like too many errors. I think he's still working it out. Guys have started to learn to push it to his forehand slow, and now he's learning to hit his forehand.
Yeah, I actually think his forehand has improved.
His forehand has improved, but he's not doing as much of the blitzing forward that he used to do. He used to apply a lot more pressure, at least last time. So I think he's still just a work in process, trying to find his optimal playing style. And he was quite passive the last tournament they played when they lost to, I believe it was Rams and Wagner. And
after being up a set in 4-1 or something.
Right, they were up. We almost had it, written the match off, and then they just a couple little changes and off to the races went Rams and Wagner. So we'll see what it looks like today. Lofgren has got a good forehand. Lewis has got a good forehand. Lewis has the two-handed backhand. Lofgren not so much. Morgan's a tough player. I look for this to be a good competitive match. There's more firepower on the court, for Morgan and Frazier.
Rob Laboon, chair umpire. Yeah, you tend to know what you're going to get from Adam Morgan. He does what he does. He does it pretty well.
Yeah,
although at the match in Detroit, they both kind of disappeared, especially in the third set.
Yeah, and Morgan does a lot of, he was doing a lot of that. There's nothing tricky about where he just comes after you, drives it hard. He doesn't dink and blitz. He really just rips it from both sides of the court. I wouldn't say he uses a lot of deception. He's always just working hard.
He's a blunt instrument.
Yeah, and he's gotten very good. He's got a very good underhand serve. He struggled with it, actually, against Rams and Wagner in that match we were talking about at various times. In fact, he went through periods where he was faulting 3 times a game, and he's been one of the early on underhand servers, one of the first guys to really go to it, and he's been one of the better ones. So it's surprising to see, actually.
Yeah, that was a fascinating match because they were winning that match from the backcourt. just basically lobbing his serve in and staying back, and winning lots of points, playing great, and then kind of shifted gears for some inexplicable reason and ended up losing the match.
Yeah. And so Lewis and Lofgren are, one of the more watched points that gets played is that one they played a couple of years ago against Randy Lofgren, Will Lofgren's brother.
Lofgren v. Lofgren.
Right, and it was 521 hits, whatever it was, 15 minutes.
So Brad, honestly, how many hits would you have made before you just ended the point with some shot or other? You made 100?
Honestly, if it gets over 100, you're getting out of my ballpark. But at this point, that was a lot of hits. But I have played some points, I will admit it, where I know I was playing a single point, and I was playing with, I believe my partner Alex Van Giel were playing against one of the great teams of Ohlmuller and Gambino, and we played 1 point. And I could tell on the court next to us was Schmidt and Rothschild against Cochran and.
They probably played a set and a half. Those guys
and
played.
They played like 5 games, and we played like 1 point. Played 1 point. It was a real grind. So it's kind of funny. So I have been there a few times, but I don't expect to see too many of those today.
Like the sun has kind of gone in. I don't see any shadows in the court. That'll certainly help play. Edwin Lewis, the lefty, as Brad identified earlier.
Yeah, it was interesting because I considered, outside of Patsenko and Lepaver, who unfortunately are no longer playing, Morgan and Frazier to be one of the most improved teams next year. All right, so Adam Morgan to start us off, and we'll see what we get here from our quarterfinal match.
Morgan just launched himself into that ball, didn't he?
This I like. They're going to a little I formation. I believe Frazier and Morgan can definitely use more of the I formation. Put Frazier right on top of the net. He's got great hands. And Morgan's got great drives. They should use it more.
I go.
This is that one. Yeah, I saw Frazier play with Rob Bacher here and beat Araya and Benchilla a couple years back, and he was just brilliant.
Yeah.
Played in a Araya-style match, moving all over the court, finishing points. A great pickup for Morgan.
Well done there from Lewis. I have not really seen that from him. So let's see if that comes into play. That was perfectly executed, that cut slash.
Great finish, 15-30. Interesting. If Lewis and Lofgren get off to a fast start.
Yeah, they're hitting some great balls.
Big statement.
And Will Lofgren's got a really good forehand. There's the volley error there from Morgan, although I don't see too many of those. And there's a fault, early fault. We talked about that a little earlier.
That's the other interesting thing about the sidearm serve is there's no margin for error. When that ball hits the net, with all the spin on it, invariably, I would say 75 to 80% of the time it's going to go long or wide.
Now, Lofgren and Lewis pretty much serve exclusively overhand. I've never seen them do an underhand serve. Or a sidearm serve, so here comes Lewis.
This is Edwin Lewis to serve. And the lefty here's got an advantage, Bradford, because as we talked about earlier, the serve to the deuce court's very effective. Much harder serving to the ed court, but making Frazier hit forehands.
I'd like to see Frazier get more dynamic and active. I think he will have an advantage in the exchange and in the hand-to-hand combat points. Love to see him push his position forward a little. That's a great pickup. Nice hands there from Lofgren.
Yeah, I think that's spot on, Bradford. I think in terms of hand-to-hand combat, he's one of the top 2 or 3 guys in the country with Ryan Durant. I mean, he's just brilliant at it. That is his strength, his speed and his hands.
Very good backhand as well. His forehand has improved. Still not his preferred shot, but he can hit it offensively for sure.
No! Hit it! 30.
This is from Morgan.
Yeah, early misses, still finding the range.
Great pickup. Bradford, the fact that Frazier is one of the few top players from a non-paddle hotbed, doesn't have a lot of people to practice with. Do you think that's an issue?
I do think it's an issue, Mark. I do. And he also is, I'm not sure yet. I mean, he is about the nicest guy. He is a wonderful guy. I don't know how much he loves the spotlight or not. Some guys, they don't care. Some guys love it. But I think it is tough for him to get all the green he wants all the time. And certainly the ability to practice with other top teams.
40,
But at
30.
this stage, most of the players, it's not like I see a Rye going out and practicing with Durant and Mitchell or even that much with Parsons. They just come out here and play the tournaments.
Yeah, Parsons doesn't practice much. Araya does practice some.
Yeah.
But Araya's playing
No,
all
but
the
I'm
time.
saying he's not
Yeah.
practicing against
Yes.
the top players. He's out there
Yes.
just playing. You know, I mean,
Great start
there
for-
are a lot of good players, you know, in the Fairfield County area and Chicago area. He's more overall.
And sometimes Araya plays with mediocre players like Carl Levitt or somebody like that. Good start for Lewis and Lofgren.
Yeah, they're firing the ball on all cylinders. And still finding the range of Frazier and Morgan. Frazier's usually got Morgan's usually got a pretty consistent drive. He's airmailed a couple so far.
I see Allison Morgan, finalist yesterday. His wife out there. Oh, boy, that was a great transition ball there from Tyler Frazier. He is so good in transition. Will Lofgren is firing that forehand, huh?
I don't think he's missed one yet.
Best forehand in the family?
Yeah, not knowing all the people in his family, maybe his mother's got a better forehand for him. But
Wow, that does not, I don't think much of his forehand. I think his mom may have a better forehand.
maybe his mother has an amazing forehand. But yeah, definitely stronger. Randy, his brother, has got a very strong backhand. Forehand, not as good.
Yeah, this spin beats him. I think the Lofgren's father played in the U.S. Open in the early 70s. So some racket skills in that family. Just haven't quite caught up with Randy yet. That's a great spot.
shot. But why he's not bailing there or moving his position over, I'm not really sure I understand.
Yeah, they had no chance.
He's in
on
no
that ball.
position to win that hand-to-hand combat battle.
Especially with the two forehands in the middle.
All right, so Frazier Morgan off to Schneid, get their first game, 2-1. Lewis and Lofgren. And Edwin Lewis, you know, from Louisville, Kentucky, he's working his way in, getting almost all of his play through tournament play.
It's great to see the players from the lesser paddled areas, shall we say, kind of coming up and making a name for themselves. Casey Watt walking out in the court. Like Rams and Water getting ready to start.
They're about to do battle against Mark Berry and Tom Hirsch. Solid team, should be a good match.
No, it's just DJ.
Mark Berry played years ago with Brian Heil.
Brian Heil.
A couple of years. Yeah.
They made the semis at Charities.
Good look there from Frazier. Just doesn't get over the top of it. I like the court positioning though. Looks to take it early. Lewis tracking it down.
Lewis moves very well. And I like Lewis in the left court. I think it's really going to indicate some of Frazier's spin. He's looking Frazier's spin. He's Lofgren early on with that forehand up there. Much easier to pick that ball up.
Yeah, they certainly weren't looking to switch back, so it's good they feel comfortable that way. And I agree with you. When you have these righties cutting the ball into that side wire over there, with the lefty forehand out there, it really does help mitigate that somewhat.
Smart lob from Frazier. Good action. Some of that court positioning you talked about, Bradford.
Nice job from Lewis. He overcooks the volley. He's 1 inch from the net. Perfectly positioned.
30-40. Chance to get back on serve. Umpire Laboon points out a open shoelace. That man is doing it all today.
Might have saved his life. That's good. The umpire take a moment there.
Frazier seems committed to the forehand, though. That's about 3 or 4 he's missed.
Yeah, not only that, he's positioning himself for that forehand in. So there's 3-1 lead now for Lofgren Lewis.
And I like Frazier looking for that forehand. I think that's a good thing to do early in the match.
Well, so you prefer him doing that than actually him set to try some of those backhands there?
Yeah, early in the match, I like seeing him try that. I like seeing him work on the forehand. I mean, this is a team that was in the semis and nationals last year. They have to have big goals. Moving forward to nationals, to me, that's one of the things he's got to improve on to really become a top-flight player.
Yeah, agreed.
And his spin bothers Lofgren again there. Interesting to see if Lofgren and Lewis switch it off.
Another fall.
Now they got the score at 2-all. It's 3-1, Lewis and Lofgren. We'll have to hear what umpire Laboon says in the next changeover. 15-all here. Oh, there they had Lewis struggling. They were right and changed direction of the ball. Not sure why they did that.
Surprising, I agree. Gotta keep one player moving. Keep him off balance as much as you can. It's a good ball. Keep it going left and right.
These are all really short lobs from Lewis and Lofgren. Haven't driven him out of the service box once at this point. They're in survival mode.
That's a good high lob. There we go.
So all you need is one to get out of the blender.
Grinding. Look at Lewis and Lofgren though, hanging in there.
Come on, Adam.
Oh, he gets the meatball in the middle.
30, 50.
Too much sauce on it.
Over here? Yep. Yeah, put it up. Take it there. No.
It's a big grip from Lofgren.
Wow, Morgan just hammering that ball.
Here. Me. Here. Here. Here.
This Lofgren and Lewis going to a little high formation there. Ah,
40,
Yeah, Lewis changed directions of the ball there and put it on Frazier's backhand, and there was big trouble. Great get from Lewis.
Oh, sneaky, but Frazier knows where he is. Slips it behind Lewis. There's Bob. Here's the hit. Oh!
This is it wide.
Frazier Morgan. They lead 3 games to 2, first set.
So I think that's 3-2 Lewis Lofgren. Unable to hear umpire Laboon there, but I assume our crack staff would confirm that. What are your early impressions, Bradford?
I mean, it's looking good, Lewis and Lofgren right now. And again, you know, Frazier Morgan just, I can't say they're playing poorly or anything. They just have missed a few balls, you know, here and there. You know, I think Frazier's looking aggressive enough. He's not trying to play passive. Morgan's taking the strike. He's just hit a few out, you know. And Lewis and Lofgren are playing a good, solid match. They're looking good. Scrambling, not going for any bad shots. And that's great. If you don't give anything away, you know, it makes it hard. If you're able to put the ball away, it's a huge thing. You know, actually win the points versus you don't.
We get confirmation that it's 3-2 Frazier Morgan.
Okay, perfect. Let's get that. That must have been an out serve that we didn't get called right somewhere in that other game.
Lewis keeps getting beat by that change in direction of the ball.
Nice track. Good job. Lewis and Lofgren falling into different formats. Lob there.
Those are the type of errors you just cannot afford to make.
Yeah, agreed, Mark. And I think in this match, it's absolutely going to determine the winner. There's 2 in this game.
30.
You know, it's such a fine line, Mark, trying to apply pressure with an attacking overhead. So you just make the error.
And there you saw Frazier just looking to lob the ball. Yeah, this is an example of why you need somebody like Araya or Durant or Frazier to play permanent eye.
40.
Frazier's spin is really bothering Lofgren. It's a 4th or 5th point they've won on it.
Oh, nice job by Lofgren cutting off that ball. Way to stay tight to the net. To an I formation. See, now you see Morgan going left and right with his lobs. So we were talking about this in the round of 16. He's moving Lewis left then right. This is smart. Look at him. There to the left. Going over to the right. Yep. This is good use of the court here from Morgan. He's taking the rip now and oh, good point.
Good swing. Right ball. Just failed to execute. Lewis just gave that game away.
Yeah. Missed overhead, two missed volleys.
Ooh, it's a great two-hander.
Coming after him, they're catching him off the net, and he's not setting his paddle and getting down and in volley position there. But a really good rip there from Morgan.
But really laid that overhead up.
Yep. Good. Nice. Lofgren. Oh, he goes for the drop volley. That was not a miss hit. That was an intentional drop volley. Just wasn't quite there.
What do you think of this permanent I formation that they're in?
I think they're doing a pretty good job of it. I think they have to continue to work out a couple little kinks here and there. Lofgren's positioning himself pretty well. He's shading towards the side of the court the ball's on. When you're doing that permanent eye, you have to be so good with your hands at the net. That's the whole trick of it.
My concern is that they're changing sides of the court too much of the overheads.
He's also, if you're there, he's got to volley more down. You know, he's actually volleying almost slightly defensively as he's taking some of these balls off. You gotta be there. You want your nose on the net. Good job, Frazier Morgan.
The problem is I don't detect a certain strategy with regard to the overheads. I mean, to me, you know, if you want to be dumping the ball to the Frazier forehand and baiting him, okay, I get it. But it's just like changing direction and just hitting overheads.
Well, I think the strategy actually, Mark, is to hopefully bait them into hitting the drive that Lofgren can put away. So I think the overheads are there almost to say, go ahead and hit it. Lofgren's on the net, and he's going to take the volley.
Yeah, but Morgan drives the ball too hard to be able to really hit a lot of drop volleys off of.
Well, you might be right. It may not be a good strategy, but I think that's what it is. I don't think Lewis is going for more. He hit a cut overhead early on when he had it, but mostly he's just trying to get him so that Lofgren, just Morgan and Frazier really aren't taking the bait. You know, they had a couple of good drives there, and on every one they hit, Lofgren couldn't get the put-away volley. So nice point there from Morgan and Frazier. And I kind of agree with you about Lewis and Lofgren. So they're used to their strategy with the high formation switch in the backcourt.
This is the first time we see them switching intentionally in the backcourt. I think that's a smart move.
Volley that ball behind you. Maybe the kind of player who's right in the net, nothing gets behind you.
I feel like Adam Morgan puts like every ounce of his weight in every shot.
He's off the ground about as much as anyone, right? He's always like, he hits it, he's leaping, right? He's hitting the roll, he's leaping.
Bunch of short lobs again from Lofgren. He's in trouble over there. There they switch. They immediately get a good forehand.
Well done. Here's actually where they've struggled, is at the net one.
Yep.
You know, they're missing just like, I think Lewis has missed like 4 or 5 overheads. Just overheads, not like great lob. And then trying to find a way to put pressure on him. They haven't been able to at this point. That's a tough transition ball. You go for it, but it's underneath the net. That was a tough one to go for.
He's also out of position. Morgan had the backhand, and he wasn't covering the line at all.
Yeah.
At the wrong third of the court. Okay, Viking. One ball is chosen for the sport's highest level tournaments, league play, social events, and weekend outings. Viking. For the last 25 years, we've made the overwhelming choice. Viking, unleash the warrior in you. The official ball of the APTA, the National Championships and President's Cup, and the official ball of the APTA Grand Prix Series. Redford, it seems like the match is kind of unfolding in a unsurprising fashion. You're starting to see a few too many errors from Lewis and Lofgren, and the better team is not giving them much right now, Frazier and Morgan.
Well, it was a great start. You know, they were up 2-love, Lewis Lofgren, but we saw a bunch of early errors there from Morgan and Frazier. And at this point, the errors have all pretty much come from Lewis and Lofgren. But really, right now, I just see them getting nothing when they're at the net. You know, Frazier and Morgan aren't biting on anything, and they're just missing overhead.
But some of the errors have been mental errors too, like that last game when Frazier and Morgan hit that real good backhand through. Lofgren could have easily put that ball in play with a lob and tried somehow to hit a backhand drive from very low. And those are the mistakes you're not seeing from Frazier Morgan. They're just putting the ball back in play, asking questions. Lofgren rifled that backhand.
Nice dig. Oh, I like the move though from Lofgren. He came in and he did actually sail that. That ball should have dropped short and spin back into the net. He traveled long. Lofgren had the ball to try and tag Morgan with. He went for it, but Thompson in the net.
15-love.
All the action now is being forced by Morgan and Frazier. Oh, good move there from Lofgren, from Lewis, forcing the volley error. Oh! And that ball bounced up high to his forehand. Did not time it at all.
Doing a match like this, Bradford, where you were much more effective in the backcourt than the net.
Right. I think they actually just I feel like they're feeling the pressure right now. You know, Lewis and Lofgren, when they're trying to make more happen. They don't have to make more happen. They got to make less errors right now. And then they have to start finding a way, because what's happening now is the pressure from basketball. Lewis. Nice strike at the weak volley. Strikes again with two big forehands. But they're feeling all the pressure right now. And Frazier and Morgan are putting spins, making them work around there. They haven't found a way to win points consistently anywhere. Look, transition back from Morgan, smart.
And this point, such a great example. It hit two big lobs, and the whole court was open. What would you like to see from Lewis and Lofgren at the net?
I think what you said before, I'd like to see a specific strategy. Not there from Frazier. I can see that back line, but they're giving a couple of high fives, so great ball. I think
Yeah, the ball Lofgren probably should have bailed on.
I think they need to find a specific strategy at the net. They tried a couple of different things. Quite worked out yet.
This is set point.
That's a nice move there from Lewis. That's been their most effective play. Lofgren return, Lewis blitz.
Okay, back to deuce.
Most effective play, but it's going to be hard to live on that play.
Advantage. Morgan.
Set point number 2.
There goes Lewis. Look at Lewis's position. On the top of your screen there, he's at the service line, just waiting there. And smartly, actually, Morgan this time, he said, oh, he got burned to hit the seam. There's something else. They're pointing at something there, because that was an odd bounce. Usually the seam goes left or right, Mark. It rarely goes. That's sort of like fluffed up in the air.
Yep.
It stayed back. That was a strange bounce.
Might have been a patch in the wires.
Either way, deuce point. Get it back to deuce. There goes Lofgren standing at the service line. Decides to go back though and not blitz.
There's the switch in the backcourt.
Spin is definitely hurting Lofgren and Lewis. They're not getting their lobs up well. They're not able to lob with any kind of control. They're just getting the balls back.
Yep, survival mode.
Yeah.
Great play there from Frazier.
All right, set point 3.
You.
Lofgren wants that one back.
I mean, it was a good look. It's definitely not his stronger shot, the backhand, but I mean, that was a layup.
Set point number 4.
Again, that's quite a few faults. Again, Morgan's struggling with that underhand serve. It's transferred over from the last time we saw them over in Detroit. Nice spot on the return there from Lewis, catching it over on Frazier's right hip.
Bradford, didn't Morgan start the set serving?
You.
No, I can't remember that far
I
back.
was positive that he did.
Starting the set serving, and it's 5-3. So it has to be. Yeah,
That's
this
what I'm
would be
wondering.
The 9th game if he started the set serving.
Mr. Morgan.
That's what I was wondering. Because I'm almost positive Frazier started. Oh, Morgan started.
Lewis. Back to deuce.
A lot of set points saved. Mike Raleigh wants a fist pump count from Morgan Frazier.
Morgan and Mike Raleigh.
I have it at 12 so far.
You have it at 12? He's working the Chicago area. Mike Raleigh, former PPTA president.
Mr. Lofgren.
Great
Top
director
10
back
player.
at the Exmoor Club. And clearly a little bit envious of the Morgan fist bump. Oh, wow. Good job there. He gets really close to that. How hard he worked up. He saw that blitz coming, so he's deciding, Morgan, now to hit that serve and race in so he can get on top of the net and volley down. He tags Lewis there.
To me, this strategy of standing in the service line has not been effective the last half a dozen points.
Yeah, the returns are quite good enough, and they're starting to, and Morgan's actually just drawing a bead on him, so he's gotten in closer. All right.
Mr.
We
Morgan.
really do kind of have to figure out the exact score here, but match point number 5 would be set point
Set
number 5.
number 5.
Oh, he gets caught.
First
Good
set.
job.
Frazier Morgan. 6 games to 2.
Okay, game in first set, Fraser Morgan 6-2. We'll be back in a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by eNet Live.
At Roto-Rooter, we're plumbing experts, not marketing experts. So we brought in a big-time ad guy to give us ideas. He suggested we wear these. That way, when you think Roto-Rooter, you think clogs.
What have you been wearing?
Yeah, we stuck with the jingle.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Okay, welcome back to the APTA Tour, to the quarterfinal matchup between Fraser Morgan, Lewis Lofgren. First set to Fraser Morgan 6-2. Bradford, your thoughts?
I mean, Lewis and Lofgren started out with a 2-love lead. They didn't miss any balls in the first couple of games. They played really well, and you could clearly see that Morgan and Fraser were still down in range. I wouldn't say they took any bad shots. They just missed a few balls. And then really from that moment on, it was all Fraser Morgan. You could see the spin starting to hurt Lewis and Lofgren. Lofgren and Lewis didn't help themselves by probably missing 6 or 7 just regular overheads, a couple of volleys, a couple of donation games. And they're going to have to find a way now to deal with the spin because they were struggling at the net. They're struggling in the backcourt. I think they're going to have to lob better, play longer points, but that's been a struggle for them because they're not controlling the ball once Fraser starts spinning.
Okay.
Right, just
Like
so
Will
we're clear.
Lofgren start us off?
Yeah, Will Lofgren is starting the set here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great return.
15.
But you're right, Mark. Tyler Frazier is completely committed to hitting that forehand return. He's positioning himself up the wire in position to hit that forehand return over that deuce side. Great shot there, rolls it right into the crease.
30.
30.
I think that's a great play for Fraser. I mean, I think that them to take the next move as a team is something he's got to do better.
You're talking about being able to isolate, hit the ball into the...
Being able to hit the forehand. I'm talking about Fraser's forehand.
Oh, Frazier's forehand. Well, clearly it's been something that's been lacking. And there's been losses of confidence that we've seen in the past. In fact, people were starting to just push the ball there at one time. Good look there from Morgan. That's it.
Sun is out again.
Good job by Fraser Morgan. Mixing up. Oof, great ball.
Big.
Mixing up drives with lobs. Just enough off balance. Get that.
Okay, Bradford, so I can confirm, you got to figure out what happened, but I can confirm that Adam Morgan started serving in the first set. I'd love Adam Morgan serving. text from Paul Stulak in Toronto confirming it. He's going to try and figure it out.
All right. Well, the math doesn't work there, but
No, it doesn't. None of it works. Because if he served at love, he couldn't have served in the 7th game, in the 9th game either.
Yeah.
Or 7th game, 8th game. Well, actually, he could
yeah,
have served.
he served the 8th game if they won that.
Served
first
the odd
game.
games, right.
He'd be serving the 9th game.
Yes, not the 7th game.
He'd be serving basically the 1st game, the 5th game, and the 9th game.
Yes.
Lewis Lofgren. They won the first game, the second set. Fraser Morgan won the first set.
Okay, so Lewis Lofgren stopped the run of games.
Here's where I want to see them be able to start either handling the Fraser spin, and because they're not going to be able to play any longer points, Mark. They either got to take it off the deck some of the time or handle it better so they can get some control in that backcourt. The best play they've had in that first set was the off the return of serve. Hit the big return, get the blitz in there, and then they wouldn't have to try to control lobs. Tough ball from underneath the net.
Too low.
Soft hands there. Oh! Ball top of the net, flies over Morgan's paddle, and Fraser didn't see it to the last second.
Lewis hits a clean ball, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a very nice ball.
So here they go into the permanent eye again. I just think this is a mistake. I'd rather see them just playing a little more conventional meat and potatoes paddle, seeing if Fraser could beat them with his forehand.
Yeah, but Lofgren and Lewis, Lewis being in Louisville, Lofgren was in the Ohio area. They're actually not that far from each other, actually. They probably could get a moment to practice, but this may be when they're trying to work out a whole new strategy for the future.
He misses that one, but that's his ball.
Really good look, high forehand. I think he was a little bit off screen there, but judging by what happened there, I'm pretty sure he didn't take a good attack angle to the ball. 30, 45 degrees in, didn't get over the top of it. Here's where they've just struggled, right? As soon as Fraser goes into cutting the ball, I mean, do you remember a point they've won once Fraser started cutting the ball? I mean, honestly, Mark, once he starts cutting it, it's almost like the points that they survived one time early for like 10, 15 balls, but I don't think they won a point when Fraser starts cutting it.
That's why I think Lewis has got to play the ad court over there. With that forehand, that's really an advantage.
He's got a lot better with more intention. Oh. Little waterfall there. Mark, I believe the score is 1-all.
Yep.
30.
Great ball. Lewis has struggled a little bit on some of those volleys. Come in a little more disciplined with his hands out. He's got a lot of extra movement in there on some of these.
The line. Good lob. Good forehand from Lofgren.
Great shot. He fires it over. That's what's great about Morgan. He hits the ball off both wings. And I think Will Lofgren thought he was hitting a safe overhead. He was just hitting a push over there, and he just tattoos it. And Lofgren's not ready. I mean, I think
No, he wasn't ready for that ball. He's out of position.
I look at it twofold. Like, why is he not ready? And B, you also have to just realize he hits it off both wings. You know, you're gonna have to
That shouldn't be breaking news.
Yeah.
It's certainly not good news for Lewis and Lofgren that they're struggling with the spin in the backcourt and they're not winning a lot of points at the net.
I mean, we saw Lewis hit a couple of cut overhead finishers early on, but he's gone for that and made 2 of them. You know, and I don't think he's missed one yet. But he doesn't hit an attacking overhead per se on the average ball. So there's a cut finisher where you're trying to end the point, but then there's the cut overhead that puts just pressure on. And he's not doing the one that puts pressure on and gets the guys to move well. That's
The ones that Tyler Frazier's hitting consistently.
Correct. Consistently he's doing it. And it's no easy thing to do, but something he's going to want to work on. That's good. Yeah, that's a dangerous one there. He's trying to go for it a little bit here. That's working that middle. Good. He's finding little spaces to hit it, but it's still no pressure. Oh, Frazier gets a little impatient, tries to one-time the backhand there.
Some volley from Lofgren from the service line. They're in survival mode constantly.
Right, even at the net they're in survival mode there, and it's a great play there from Frazier and Morgan. But you see how they're taking the ball early and increasing their position at the baseline. So that was just a series of quick one-time drives. Even that last drive wasn't what you would consider a difficult or a blazing drive. It's just they pushed him back, moved him forward, pushed him back, and there was no answer on the overheads. You know, so good job there by Frazier Morgan. So paddle 101 right there, and well done. That's funny, you see, like, Morgan's still up in the air even on that volley, Mark. Like you said, he picks up every ounce, he picks everything. And he's just like, he's got like a battery about him. He's wound tight. You know, he's like a jumping bean.
Yes, wound tight is a good description.
Oh, that's a good shot. 3 more like that. Break right back. Lewis hits a nice clean ball, but it's that ball that's lower than the net. If you're going to make that, you need a very quick release, and your racket head, your wrist actually has to roll that ball. It has to be all spin. Not easy to make that shot from underneath the net there in the midcourt. There you see a great bail. I mean, that's not a difficult get there from Lewis. That's an unfortunate.
No, that ball's got to go back and play.
But you see a great job, though, from Frazier and Morgan. Like, when they're getting out of position, they don't bother to try to get back in position if they know they're not going to get there. So they just go back. And a couple of times, you should have seen this. There's another fault there from Frazier.
Really struggling with his serve.
Yeah,
Such a
little
reliable
bit.
shot.
He's averaging at least 1 a game. And there you go, a new positioning there from Will Lofgren up tight. Nice placement. Poach look there from Frazier. Perfectly read by Lewis. Pushes it down the line.
Reaching with that forehand volley.
Yeah, he's swinging at it, though. You know, he's trying to hit an offensive volley. The offensive volley there, though, is stick your paddle out. He's above the net when he's hitting it. Slight angle, take the pace off it, and just drop it right. Not a drop shot, per se, just really soft to the side, screen short. That's actually the offensive volley there, not the swing volley.
Okay, Bradford, I've got confirmation of what happened from our legion of viewers.
Okay.
Tyler Frazier held serve at 4-2 to go 5-2. And then very smartly, Adam Morgan decided to serve at 5-2.
Really?
Yeah.
So we missed a service game somehow.
Everybody missed the service game where he just started, so they served twice in a row.
Wow.
Because if he served to start the match, he'd be serving on even games.
Yeah, sure. No, 100%.
Yeah.
I remember him being on the far side of the court, too, the way you described it. That's unbelievable.
With an umpire in the chair and all 4 players, and everybody missed it.
Well, not you, Mark. We just didn't know what happened. It was a moment.
David Lee, Ryan Shockley, Paul Stulak, thank you all for your input. Lofgren does swing at a lot of the volleys.
Well, that's the biggest issue. He wants to be the guy who's doing the, I formation. Your paddle literally should not move, like not move at all, if you're hitting those volleys and they're putting some pace on them. And you got to learn how to hit these little short angle drop volleys as well as pushing you through the middle, but doing that through grip pressure and just keeping your hands out in front, not through actual movement of the paddle. It was called good there by Lewis.
They called out, confirmed by Chairman Parley
out?
Boone. Yep.
All right. Sorry. Looked like he was putting a flat signal there, but.
That means out in Louisville.
There you go. We watched Will's brother Randy in his match with Rick Lofgren. They just had a barn burner. I believe it was like Humphreys and maybe Tony. They played a real tough match with those guys, but he got right on top of the net there and did a great job hitting drop volleys. Randy Lofgren does a good job with that.
Yes.
And that's
exceptionally well, great hands.
Key to, if you're going to be that type of guy who's going to get right on the net, you got to be very good with your volley technique.
There you see how quick Frazier is in transition. He was on top of the net. Lofton got away driving that ball. He was lucky Frazier to put that ball away.
Oh, good roller. Didn't see what happened there, but it must have just fooled him, and maybe it hit the seam on the side wire over there. Good shot.
Lofton's got beaten on the wires a bunch of times today.
Oh, no, clearly they're struggling once the spin and the attacking overheads are coming from Frazier Morgan. They're having a high success rate, and that's going to have to change for Lofton and Lewis to get any purchase in this match.
Kind of bread and butter overhead is very flat and very long.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's hit 2 or 3 cut finishers, but you know what's good about that overhead is they're doing a decent job keeping it in there, but they're not putting any pressure on Frazier Morgan. They're getting to wait around for their right ball, and they're not punishing them on any of the others. And they're just trying to go back to a I formation there, and then Lofgren takes that one. But if you're doing the I formation too, Lofgren really should hit almost no overheads, and he should be 1 inch from the net, like right on
those
top.
last 3 overheads from Lewis all had some spin on them. Were all decent overheads.
Yeah, but they're not pressure overheads.
Right, but then he goes away from it and hits that flat overhead, which just gets him in trouble.
Honing in though, he's really hitting every overhead. That one was short, but every overhead's been past the service line pretty deep. They're going for the screen there.
So Rams Watt won the first set 6-4.
And they're playing Hirsch and Barry.
They lead 4 games to 1. The second set.
Matchup. Dan Hirsch played last time against Chris Humphreys over in Detroit, and Humphreys gave him a real hard time with the lefty spin. And it is lefty spin versus Rams's righty spin. But we'll see if that plays into that match. The other match, Chris Lofgren, they're barely going on. I heard there was like a 7-6, 7-5, 7-6 war.
At Camargo, I heard.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tyler Frazier serving at 4-1. See if they try that maneuver again here, Brad. We're going to watch them. If Frazier serves and then Morgan serves again, we're on to them.
Really tricky. And it's interesting, you know, this is an umpired match, so it's a totally different scenario. But if you were to play a league match at home or do something like that, there is no penalty for something like that happening. All point stand is played. If you serve out of order, or even if you receive serve on one side, then go to the other side and receive serve. It's the other team's job to actually recognize that and tell you you have to go back to your own positions.
Yeah, that's fascinating. 15 all. That sun has got to make it hard in that corner back there. You can see it shining right in Lofgren's face.
Yeah, great job.
Holding up his hand now.
It's got bright out there. That's the brightest we've seen it so far, Mark. It's been an overcast day for, I'd say, 90% of the day out there in Cincinnati and Hyde Park. Country Club. Right on the line there from Lofgren. Morgan could have played that ball, but he thought it was going out. Going back. Oh, good drop there.
So Frazier's quickness on display.
Oh, good ball. That was a tough drive there from Morgan. And on that far side over there, Edwin Lewis, the lefty, definitely will come into play. It'd be helpful. That sun is starting to creep in on a tough angle, but you can have the lefty, Edwin Lewis, play all those overheads, and the sun shouldn't bother him at all.
And to your point earlier, Brad, you can see from the shadows in the court, the stanchions, the angle at which the sun's coming in at.
Oh my gosh, he got really bright out there, Mike. I don't know about, it's like on your screen.
Yeah.
It is bright.
You can barely make out Lewis. That's a nice sequence of shots from Lewis.
You know, I'm seeing, this is a lot better control, but we're seeing less cut overheads from Frazier. He's actually sort of toned it down, pushing in. You don't want to see him try to go into a cruise mode to get to the end here. He should keep up the attack that he's been doing.
So do you think that's a result of their lobs, or do you think that's a result of just Frazier's decision making?
I think it's both. Here's a, yeah, see, he didn't go after that. That was not the same attacking over he was getting before. Oh! Just a swing and a miss.
If he chased it down, it would have been a Miguel Cobbs, but failed to do so. Point for 5-1. Such a nice pickup mid-court.
Yeah, it's a great serve. That's a slow play serve and volley. He's coming forward, but he's actually waiting to see how big the return is and whether they're blitzing. And he just easily picks it up, but there's no pressure because there's no blitz. Nicely done.
I see Graham McNerney next to the court looking like he's putting some clothes on. That would give you an indication that they have already won. Going to get some of Rams and Watt at the end of this match.
Now they played Hagman and Murphy. There's a score up yet, but tough team, Hagman Murphy. Definitely better lobs. That's got to get attacked. Good. That's why that lefty's there. That has to get attacked. Anything that bounces up and over there, there has to be a threat from the backcourt. Great point. Lewis and Lofton lobbing better.
I think they're so much more effective as a team with Lewis on the ad court.
Good point from win or lose. This is a great point from Lewis Lofton. Working.
the third or fourth time Lofgren's hit the ball at Morgan's feet
See now,
to change the direction of the ball.
in this type of point mark, I think Frazier and Morgan should go to a permanent eye, because all Lofgren and Lewis are hitting are what type of drives? Off-pace drives, right? They're just pushing them back, moving them in. This is the perfect time to go to an I formation, because you can't do off-pace drives against an I formation. See, that's just a medium-pace drive designed to move Morgan around, not designed to actually make a miss, just working. Going to an I formation here. It's a perfect change. They are working them around.
Some point.
That's great. And then once it gets to this point, like Frazier hasn't hit an attacking overhead in, I don't know, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, right? And then it becomes harder to start ramping it up again, right? So
And part of it, he's on the deuce court at the net as he shifts into the egg
well,
court
yeah,
here.
but I'm saying even when he was before, you know, I'd like to see him get back into hitting those attacking overheads, because it's just going to make the speed of play be what they want anyway. They want that faster speed of play.
What do you think we're up to, Brad? A couple hundred?
Yeah, this is a great point. Oh, and he gets the lead cord and finishes it with that. Morgan, nicely done. Has the guts to pull the trigger. 250 balls in.
And then you see Araya and McNerney walking off. So they clearly, I assume they won that match. There's a replay of that last shot.
Lobs. Push there, and here comes the push drive. Kind of not as big hit, but gets right on the top of the ring.
Okay, so I think that's 5-1. Frazier Morgan.
Oh, they let him serve, so that's good.
I guess they only pull it in the first set.
Actually, I have to say that's fascinating. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I've seen it before a few years ago at Patterson. Oh, great volley from Morgan with a Grangera Wilkinson match with I think Araya Parsons. Where in the middle of the game, where Durant was serving, Wilkinson was serving and just threw the ball over to Durant. Durant started serving in an umpired match.
Really?
Semifinal match. It was raining
Same
out.
thing. Nothing, and nobody called it.
Nobody called it. I was watching the match thinking, something wrong with this.
It is unique to the game of platform tennis that the server, the points last so long, you go up and back so many times, right? You
Yeah, it's easy to forget.
up, transition back. You sort of lose track. You know, it's not hard to lose track.
Double match point here. I guess Alex Banchila never lost track. You probably lost track, but Alex did not.
I forgot where I was sometimes.
Match point number 2.
They
Oh,
rip
big
and-
forehand from Frazier, and they win 6-2, 6-1.
6-2, 6-1.
I mean, just a great performance from Frazier Morgan. You know, clearly showing their versatility, ability to play some different styles. And Lofgren and Lewis, if they're going to play the one-up, one-back, they got to work on that a little bit more. And they just couldn't find a way to win points outside. Once there were the misses from Frazier and Morgan disappearing, they couldn't find a way to win points, either the baseline or back, you know, or at the net.
This is the Rams-Watt match.
Andrew Watt won the first set 6-4 against Hirsch and Berry. And that is on the far side. We'll do a quick little view of the players. On the far side in the all black, about to return third is Mark Berry.
You beat our throw.
His partner, Dan Hirsch, and I guess we'll call it Gray. And, yep. Drag them to play together a bit, you know. And on this bottom side of your screen, you got Flip Rams in the white cap, and his partner in the, I guess we'll call him the olive cap, Casey Watt on the deuce side. So, you know, Hirsch in the all gray on the top of your screen has a funny stop. He holds the racket with sort of like an Eastern forehand grip always, for just about everything. You know, you can see him. He doesn't, which is very different than almost any of the top players, right? Most of them go to a continental grip, hold it further over, and it gives them some interesting shots, but it also limits it to some degree too. You know, no spin overheads really, just a lot of pushes, move around. He can hit a high forehand, but he tends to even hit the ball flat even with that grip on his ground strokes. He's rolling at that time. At 9:30 in the morning. So tomorrow's streaming schedule, 9:30 men's semifinals and a 1 o'clock final round schedule. Great grip there from Gary. Yeah, he's got a complete package there. He actually very good in the hand-to-hand. He's still just working on his decision-making. And he's trying to play, you know, he's been playing most of the season with Mike Wagner from the Pittsburgh area, and they're trying to play a lot more of that one-up, one-back style, with him doing a lot of blitzing and moving forward whenever Wagner gets a ground stroke, a drive. I love that ball. Soft, just pull him out of position, soft again. Yep, nice digs. Oh, good cut off there from Watt, but actually lays it up a little there for Hirsch. Probably should volley in the direction you're moving more often than not. Ooh. Just goes for a heavy cutter, but can't quite get around the ball. Rams is trying to finish this one fast. He's feeling confident. He's another guy who's pretty fearless, Mark. Hit a shot at any time, any moment. It sure is. Quick lob there from Rams. That's Hirsch leaving your feet. You really should, there's very few times you should actually be jumping up. Yeah, just standing in the center of the court waiting for a pop-up volley. Going after Watt. Smart, he's moved his position up too. just waiting to make something happen. Going all after Casey Watt here in the backcourt. No part of Rams back there.
Yeah, Rams' court positioning is just so brazen. He's in tight, stealing time from you. Great lob there from Watt.
Baiting them, right? He's baiting them to hit it behind them. They're not taking the bait. Good for them. Great lob, like you said, from Casey Watt to take over the net. Tough one.
30-30.
Points from the match.
Very sort of like on a slow-mo. Really brings that other foot in quickly. That's a great ball behind.
He's got a terrific forehand. Barry does.
Yeah, no, I've seen him stick it a few times. Good serve into that backboard. And he bites him into the screen.
Apparently the Crick Lofgren match, I think, is just getting started now. So maybe we'll get some action there as well.
Bonus covered. We'll see if we can get that set up on one of these streaming courts. And who are they playing?
Barry Hirsch.
On Weiss, Christian McGrath.
Rom Swat lead the second set. 5 games.
So Rams will serve for the match at 5-3 in the second. Just a big Barry forehand.
That's a real nice shot.
Good job finding the nick from Hirsch.
Good pace.
Nice to see Casey Watt back playing. He's got a dynamic game, a little bit different than a lot of players. Very athletic, fun to watch.
Good move. He was tracking out. He was right on the net. Good drive there from Hirsch.
Boy, Barry does unload on that forehand, doesn't he? Great backhand from Watt.
Yeah, that's the Watt shot. He loves the backhand.
What shot?
The backhand.
Oh,
Watt is his number one
What
shot.
shot?
The Watt shot. That is the Watt shot.
So a little backswing just exploded into that ball.
Yeah, definitely. It's much easier to say Watt shot than that is his preferred method of delivering the drive. I'm gonna stay with the Watt shot, Mark.
The Watt shot. Hirsch and Barry really grinding here.
They are.
Love to see it.
Called out.
But it must have been because that was a very strange shot from Rams.
Yeah, he's gonna hit a roller and then he.
The fake roller, don't hit it. Look at the umpire. So I think this is break point.
I think it is. Hanging around. And a couple of good points. Lobbing well in this point. He's going to cut winner there, and he missed it.
Game Barry Hirsch.
Viking, one ball to rule them all. One ball is consistently chosen for the sport's highest level tournaments, league play, social events, and weekend outings. Viking. For the last 25 years, we've made the overwhelming choice. Viking, unleash the warrior in you. The official ball of the APTA, the official ball of the National Championships and President's Cup, and the official ball of the Grand Prix Series. So what do you think, Bradford? We got 5-4 here or 5-2?
Well, I think it's 5-2 as far as I know.
Is it 5-love? Because we just saw Barry and Hirsch win two games in a row. So I think it's 5-4. Can't be
Must
5-3. That we know. See if somebody from our staff can get out there and get the definitive score for us, because it's not. There we go. 5-4 they've got up now.
Yeah, that's a
Great
ball.
slash winner. Such a difference in the game, isn't it, when one guy can put the ball away and the other team can't?
It sure is. And that one there is the easier of the putaways, meaning that lob is perfectly short enough where he gets to drive it through the court. You know, where you hit the cut/drop shot window, the one that goes short in the court, the contact window gets smaller, more of a chance to miss it. There it goes again.
Oh,
Another exact same ball, exact same height. He lets it drop just above net height. Carves it on the outside and through the ball. Beautiful play.
great backhand there from Watt. The Watt shot.
There you go.
Dan Hirsch, just a good, solid platform player, isn't he?
Yeah, solid.
Nothing
You know,
fancy.
Right, that's the issues though. At the same time, meaning like super solid, but there's 3 short lobs and 3 putaways, so you can't lob like that.
Yep.
Right.
Double match point. There it is.
He does not hold back on match point. Mark Berry fires it in there, and there is game, set, match for Rams and Watt. And our semis are not quite set because we still have one more quarterfinal to go. But 3 players into the semifinals, and they're going to face Frazier and Morgan tomorrow.
Frazier Morgan, yeah, which should be a fun match. There's a look at the draw. So Rams Watt are through. And I guess the Onig-Wheezy match went really long. We'll have to find out who won that match. The winner of that is playing Crick Lofgren shortly. Okay, Bradford, I think we're going to wrap it up. Great day of paddle. We're going to be back tomorrow morning at 9:30 with the semifinals. Always a pleasure doing the work with you, and we'll be back tomorrow morning right here on the APTA YouTube channel, presented by ENET Live.
They've done it again. Johan Durant and Stephen Mitchell are the APTA national champions for the 2nd year in a row.
There you have it, your women's APTA national champions, Florentina Harnisch and Anna Maria Sabori.
How are the Bengals doing?
tomorrow. Maybe I'll be doing